Hi y'all. So we're going to do another kind of strum class thing today. This one will be a little different. So one of the things that you can do with strumming is to do arpeggios. So I know I've said this before. We've had some other little arpeggio units once in a while, and I've recommended Daniel Ward's Arpeggio Meditations, which I would recommend again. It's like the best practice book ever for both your left and your right hand, especially for your right hand. It really adds dexterity to your fingers practicing those arpeggios. But arpeggios are also great to replace a strum. So in a lot of songs, or just about any song, if you're tired of strumming, you're tired of doing a strum in a certain song every time, you can always try out an arpeggio. And usually you can find an arpeggio that will work really well in just about any song. And it's fun if you're in a group, like we're sitting in Tug or you're at the Austin Ukulele Society, and you're just strumming away. It's fun to do, instead of doing a strum, to do an arpeggio. And it sounds good. So that's what we're going to look at today. And we're going to start with the very simplest arpeggio you can do, and I call it an arpeggio strum. And the way you do it is we're going to use our thumb, get right at where the neck and the body come together, and I'm going to do this on a C chord. You just pluck, we're going to do it on a count of 4. 1, you pluck each string. You start at the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an arpeggio. It's very simple. You don't really have to learn anything. What it is, if you think about it, it's a slow, if you slow down a downstroke with your, that's the arpeggio. You slow down that downstroke. So you can add that to just about any song. Now the tricky part of this is to make sure that they all have the same length and that you get your thumb back up to the 4th string quickly so you don't add time on the end of it. So the way to practice it, use any chord you want, but count as you do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Or you can count it back as 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you just practice that, and fairly quickly you will have that under your fingers. Now we'll do it against the first 4 chords. I know this tab, when you look at it, you go, holy moly, what am I going to do with this? But the secret of any of these arpeggios is to not worry about what it looks like in the tab. So if you look, I can't point at it, but if you look at this tab, that's showing everything that's played here. It's each fret on each string for each time your thumb hits it. But you don't have to worry about that. All you need to worry about is the chords. So think about it like a song sheet, like the chords in a song sheet. And once you get that strumming, that arpeggio pattern, that arpeggio strum under your fingers, just use it just like a strum. 1, 2, So you change, just like you change your chords with your left hand, just like you do if you're strumming. Now your right hand, you really do it the same way that you would do if you were strumming. You don't stop, you don't restart anything, you just keep going. So if you were strumming it, it's the same thing. So we just do that arpeggio, we just using our thumb, and for each measure, each 4 beats, we're going to go all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, 1. E minor. A7. Okay. It's simple, but it's getting that the length of the notes consistent will take a little bit of work. So if you work on that, you work on just that strum, that arpeggio strum, until it's nice and smooth. Let's go do the song now. So the song that I've got to do, if I can, is I just have one song this week, and it's Simple Gifts. This is a beautiful song. It's an old shaker tune. It's a shaker dance tune from the middle 1800s. Aaron Copland used this as one of his themes in Appalachian Spring. It's just a gorgeous song. So I'm just going to do these first 2 verses here. Okay. And I'm going to do the arpeggio strum with my thumb. I'm going to do a couple of measures in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It's the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where we ought to be, when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed to turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. Okay, so you can see, just using your thumb on that really simple arpeggio strum sounds really good, especially in a song like this. One of the nice things about this song is it's really, really good slow, really, really slow. So practice this with that simple arpeggio strum, and then you can add it into any song. So let's go back. There's actually two arpeggios in this this section. So the next one we have is way more complex. So if you don't want to, it would be good if you attempted it and worked on it a little bit. But this has everything any arpeggio is going to have in it. So I call this a pinch arpeggio. So I'm just going to do this on the C, and I'm going to show you, I'm just going to do it a little bit. Okay, that's what it sounds like. So the reason we call it a pinch arpeggio is the first note we pinch, and we're going to use our thumb and our middle finger. We do the first and the fourth string. And I can't really show it, it's hard to show. Let's see. You put your thumb on the fourth string, you put your middle finger on the first string, and then you just pinch them together. That's your first beat. That's beat number 1. So you might want to practice that pinch a little bit. So that's the first, that's beat 1, and then beat 2, you use your index finger on the second string. Beat 3, you use your thumb, so our thumb's going to actually play on 2 different strings to hit the third string, and then back to your index finger on the second string for the last beat. So it's pinch, index, thumb, index. And one of the things about this arpeggio and many, 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 many other arpeggios is we assign fingers to strings. So in this case, the thumb and the index are assigned to the 1 and the 4. The second string, the thumb in the middle, is assigned to 1 and 4. First and fourth string, the pinch. Our index finger is assigned to the second string, so our E string. The thumb does double duty, so it's also assigned to the third string. So whenever we play the second string, it's going to be our index finger. Whenever we play the first string, it'll be our middle finger. Whenever we play the fourth string, it'll be our thumb. Whenever we play the third string, it'll be our thumb. So we'll do this. I'll say the string. So I'm going to say pinch for the 1 and 4. Pinch, 2, 3, 2. Pinch, 2, 3, 2. Pinch, 2, 3, 2. Pinch, 2, 2. Pinch, 2, 3, 2. The way I like to count it when I'm trying to learn these is I say the finger. So I'm going to count this as pinch, index, thumb, index, pinch, index, thumb, index, pinch, index, thumb, index, pinch, index, thumb, index. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So it's much more complicated than just using your thumb. We're using 3 fingers. We're plugging 2 notes at the same time. We're using our thumb on 2 different strings. So it's more complicated. But if you sit down and you practice this, just sit in front of the TV. Practice it on 1 chord. For a while, pretty soon, it'll just be there under your fingers. And what you'll have then, you'll have finger picking. You'll have started finger picking because you're using multiple fingers on these strings. So this is something, it might be a reach, but this is something you can try once you have the simple arpeggio strum under your belt. So let's go back to simple gifts. And we'll play this. I'm going to play it all the way through in this case. My voice hangs in there. Using that pinch arpeggio. Okay, so here we go. Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where we ought to be, when we find ourselves in the place just right. We'll be in the valley of love and delight, when true simplicity is gained. To bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. Turn, turn will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right. 'Tis the gift to have friends, and a true friend to be. 'Tis the gift to think of the others, not only think of me. When we hear what others really think and really feel, then we'll all live together with a love that is real. When true simplicity we shan't be ashamed. Turn will be our delight till by turning we come round. Sorry, I screwed up that E minor there. So you can hear how that works. One of the things I didn't mention on the last line of each of these, in that be in the valley of that love and delight. In this one, I'm just plucking the strings under my 3 fingers. So the first, second, and first. Love and delight, love and delight. And with the arpeggio strum, I'm just strumming the chord. Love and delight, because there's only one beat on each of those. Okay, so that's the arpeggio strum. There's a couple of arpeggios there. If this is something that interests you, it's worth spending a little time on, especially just the simple arpeggio. And when we get together, or you're playing along with one of these, if you don't like the strum, whip out an arpeggio and play that. Alrighty. Well, I hope you have fun with this. I'll see y'all later. Hope to play together with you soon. Take care.